Morning, everybody. Welcome back to One-and-Done-athon Day 2. I'm still so excited to be running this event. I had a great time yesterday. It was really cool getting to see all of those runs and just getting to, you know, see all the diversity and all of the, games that are just people's passion projects, things that people don't normally get to show off. But all new day today. We got a bunch of huge lineup. Absolutely, boy, I'm really struggling to speak right now. I promise I got this. I want to do the same thing as yesterday, where I just go down the list, say one thing about each of the games, because, like I said, I reviewed all these submissions, so I know what we're working with. So, Devil May Cry 4, really, really high intensity action game. I am not good enough at the game to figure out the combo system, so I'm really excited to see Igna do it, especially because I've been watching him do some practice for it, and he's really, really, really good at this game. I was impressed every single time I saw it. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, there's a surprising amount of glitches in like a 19-minute Mortal Kombat game. I was reading some of the runner's comments about it, and he said he practiced for like a month to learn one of the Kung Lao skips that just involves going out of bounds. So look forward to that. Mega Man Unlimited, Kumba is a really, really good Mega Man runner. I've seen him do some things in the past at GDQs, and this is apparently this is one of the most popular fan-made games. So just real classic Mega Man with a twist. Batman Forever. One of the reasons that I liked Batman Forever, aside from the fact it's a retro game, and those are always really cool to see, is it's all photo scanned sprites. So it's all like a guy in a Batman costume, running through and like punching, and then the main movement is rolling. So it's just a photo scanned picture of this guy just rolling through the stage, and I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Then after that, we've got Blade 2, and that one struck me a little bit because it's a really janky movie tie-in game, but just sometimes you have to really appreciate that kind of stuff. The devs tried really hard to make that game, and then you just snap it in half, and that's amazing to see. And then after that, we shoot the vampires with Vampire Knight, and that's a light gun speedrun by the Boix. I've seen Boix run this in the past. He's done it at a couple other marathons I've seen, and I hope he brings back the outfit that he had, but two, there's the precision that you have to maintain to have a light gun game, because you're not just holding your hands here for a controller. He's actively like pointing at the screen. So I'm really impressed by that. True Crime New York City, hilariously broken game. PMC Trilogy. I had him on aimbot to do a variety showcase. This wasn't one of the games because it's not really an FPS. It's kind of a third-person brawler, but there's so much wrong with that game. He goes out of bounds in the first like 10 seconds, and it just it just escalates from there. Second to last game, Quest for Glory Collection. It's a point-and-click adventure from the earlier days of PC games, but the way that Mr. P.R. Miller moves through the game is incredible. I couldn't actually understand the submission video. I was watching going, yep, yep, looks good, because everything he's doing it so fast. I can't get it. And then finally, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I know this is one of Etchy's favorite games of all time, and obviously that's why he submitted it. But the passion that he has for the game is really obvious, and I really like Pokemon speedruns because there's such careful planning that goes into it. It's not always high intensity execution. Sometimes it's planning, item usage and careful level ups and things like that. So, but that's the whole day. 9 games today. Hope you look forward to them. But without further ado, let's get into the first one of the day, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, Virgil New Game Devil Hunter by igna77. Go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everybody. My name is Igna, and I'm really glad to be here. Got a chance to showcase this amazing game, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. And one of my, if not for personally, the best category there is Virgil. We all love Virgil. Over here with me on the commentaries, I have two of the most amazing people on the DMC community and really good gamers of this game as well. I have DE Cosmic and Mecharasium, which we usually call Mecha because it's a real long name. So, guys, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, my name is DE Cosmic, and I am a DMC series speedrunner.
Oh, I'm Mecha, and I'm a washed-up speedrunner that likes cucumbers, but that's another story.
Yeah, he does like them.
That's true.
So, well, we're gonna go starting on the run here. The game itself is pretty fast-paced, a lot of action of it, a lot of precision. We'll get into that when you are seeing the run. You're in for a treat. I really love this game. So let's get started real quick. Time will be in 3, 2, 1. Devil May Cry.
All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to get into like a tutorial section, because even though you saw Igna turn off the tutorial when he entered the game, for some reason this doesn't work when you play as Virgil and Lady in this game. You can select 3 characters to start off with. You can either start off with Nero, Virgil, or Lady. And when you select Virgil or Lady, turning off the tutorial doesn't even work. So we still have to play the tutorial before we go against this first boss, which is Dante. So when they updated this game to be special edition, basically we're going to be playing through the main campaign of the game using Virgil. So a lot of this is going to seem familiar to those of you that maybe saw Mecha's run at SGDQ last year for Nero and Dante. It's going to be all pretty much the same levels and stuff, but we're going to go through it with a hilariously broken character called Virgil. The first thing you got to know about Virgil is that you're going to see Igna shooting out like these giant like slashes into the air. Those are called judgment cuts. And later on, he's going to be doing perfect judgment cuts. And perfect judgment cuts, you have to hold down the melee button and then release it with a specific timing, and it's going to create this like vroom effect or something. And then it's going to be able to do a lot of damage. It's going to build a lot of Devil Trigger, which we'll get into as well. You also see Virgil glowing a sort of purple, and that is related to his concentration meter. Concentration basically is if you quote-unquote play like Virgil, then you will get things like, you know, extra range on attacks and extra damage and stuff. So there's a lot of interesting things with it. So, but this is the first boss. It's Dante, and he's, you know, getting taken down by these Virgil combos right here.
So yeah,
So that should be it. There we go.
during the very early parts of this beautiful run, you got to do a couple of interesting things, like getting no damage missions, an example, because the way you set up the rest of your speedrun is basically, let's say, basically relies on how well you play your early missions. Because the rating system in this game is kind of weird, you know? You gotta land a lot of quick missions by the way you clear these missions. You gotta collect a lot of orbs and you gotta do a lot of combos. But, well, it's not like the combos, you see. So most of the times we're gonna go a lot faster than usual, so it's not gonna be that much of a problem for us, but we gotta get a lot of orbs and we gotta land those no damages that are mostly important while playing as Virgil. Because, yeah, Cosmic said you gotta play like Virgil, but do you actually know how to play Virgil? So let us define a couple of things, interesting things, because Igna is gonna set up an interesting skip here that keeps a very long fight with these three scarecrows, and oh my god, Cosmic, can you see this?
Yeah. So something to note here too about the rapid slash move there that's used to skip that fight is that at 60 FPS, like Virgil and all this game is, you know, built for 60 FPS because that's just the native frame rate. If he were playing at 120 FPS, he wouldn't have been able to do that skip. So we play at 60 FPS with this character, and we play at 120 with everybody else, just because this character kind of breaks at 120 FPS. But at 60 FPS, it makes these perfect judgment cuts here that you're seeing being whipped out like really, really easy to do, or at least I should say much easier to do. We could just pause it right now. Yeah, go ahead and pause.
All right, sorry y'all. Quick pause. We're gonna work out the tech issues, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Sorry about that. Couple technical issues. We got them all fixed. So we're gonna go right back to Devil May Cry 4.
Okay. So we can resume in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so yeah, so where we left off was now we're sort of near the end of the level here. We just got to clean up one more fight here with the scarecrows, which is basically the fodder enemy. And again, we're going to see a lot of rapid slash there into the judgment cuts. That's pretty much like Virgil's main bread and butter in terms of damage, how damage goes. It really just kind of like, it just decimates like everything in sight.
Here, Igna is gonna use a very interesting technique. You see, when you walk around the enemy as usual, your concentration meter is gonna drop a lot. So Igna can prevent that by using his jumps, because whenever Virgil jumps, nobody stops him from dropping his motivation as well. So before we go and polish some fire ponies, we gotta buy some devil stars, a couple of purple orbs, and do a very difficult boss fight with a boss called Burial. So the problem with Burial goes, well, on the main layers. One of those is this beautiful attack called Gazer's End. Oh no, Igna got hit. So for those who just tuned in, let me just quickly remind you that most of the run has to be done with no damage taken. If you get hit that early into the run, a lot of things are gonna go bad. But not today, because Igna is going to destroy the Burial with a technique called Distortion. Cosmic, can you please explain what Distortion means?
Yeah, so distortion is essentially an exploitation of the way that this game treats how Virgil or Dante, their models actually swap between human and devil when they go into their devil trigger form, which is their powered up state that they have in every iteration of Devil May Cry. So there's frames where those two models overlap, and it can create instances of double damage. So when Virgil, revs up that big punch and then lets it rip, you can activate Devil Trigger, and then during the frames that it's connecting, you'll overlap those two models, and you'll just be able to just totally decimate a lot of bosses and do a ton of damage. Okay. So we also are now going to actually I don't remember what I was gonna say. There's actually something he's gonna do, which is pretty cool against these frost guys. So he's going to activate the Devil Trigger, and then he's going to be able to use that in order to get like a free full bar of concentration.
Yeah, because whenever you are inside the Devil Trigger state, your concentration meter does not drops, and you can use this either defensively or offensively, depending on the situation, which only highlights a couple of interesting interactions with Nero's Devil Trigger, an example where you can use it extremely offensively, because every single Devil Trigger in this game gives their respective characters different properties. In Virgil's case, the buffs to the concentration meter, the extra damage and the extra hits from your regular attacks, the range gets increased, the damage increases, whatever. For the rest of the characters, it's either interesting stuff or a lot of interesting stuff, depending on how interesting stuff you want to get. So this is a mission 3 skip. Here Igna is going to take a very precise position and then use his trick up to land on the platform over here. And oh my god, the skip's so beautiful. I'm gonna...
I love it.
Yeah, so that's a damage boost there, where the spikes at the top there actually will knock Virgil onto the platform there. And then you can just skip all of the platforming that you would usually do with like the grips or whatever. Because Virgil in this game, he shoots out his summon sword, which are like these astral projections. It's supposed to be like an astral projection of his greatest desire or something. And it's his father's sword. Go figure. And so he was able to just, you know, he uses those to like grip from ledge to ledge, but we don't want to do any of that. That's really slow. So like to save 15 seconds or so, we just do the damage boost there. There's another version of that you can do where you don't use the damage boost, but it's a little bit more, it's a little bit harder to set up and it's a little bit harder to do.
So the thing about the damage boost itself is that you sacrifice your no damage bonus on this mission just to save time. And since I got hit at burial, I cannot spend extra money to get the other way of the skip. So I usually go for that one just to not worry about getting a no damage.
Yeah, and here the interesting part about the beautiful routing of this game goes. We planned and routed this game so well that if you want to learn how to run this game, you basically gotta perfect your first 4 missions, which usually serve as a major run killers. First 4 missions pretty much have, like, how much cost me? 80% of your resets at time?
Yeah, I would say about, yeah. Usually in Devil May Cry games, like the first 4 to 5 missions really kind of set the pace for the rest of the run because it's really all about that economy. So basically, new and unique to Devil May Cry 4, there's a system called Proud Souls. And that's really what we're going to be spending a lot of our, you know, that's what we're going to be buying all of our abilities with. Whereas in the other games, you would buy everything with red orbs. So red orbs and Proud Souls are sectioned off to have different purposes in this game. You're only going to be spending red orbs on items. So you not only do you really don't have to keep track of red orbs per se in this game. I would say you just kind of get the same amount every run. It's really the Proud Souls that you have to keep track of. The fortunate thing is that unlike in the other games, you don't really have to commit to some decisions in terms of buying abilities. You can always refund abilities that you don't necessarily need for certain missions. So if you're just kind of starting out and you're just doing runs, I almost said runes. If you're just kind of starting out and doing runs, you can kind of manage your economy a little bit that way and just make sure that you only really have the abilities that you need. For certain missions. These are the gyro blades, by the way. I call them Beyblades. You just kind of have to. Yeah, they're an unfortunate puzzle thing.
They are indeed.
And so you just kind of there's like certain ways you have to move them around each room, and I think that there's 3 levels. Or oh my goodness!
Gyro blades.
This is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So what Igna's doing here is he's actually breaking the sarcophagus for the next mission later. Fortunately, he's going to get a lot of red orbs, and that'll probably net him a few extra Proud Souls at the end of this mission. Also, you see him using the rapid slash chaining there in Devil Trigger. He can actually... Virgil can just infinitely chain rapid slash into itself while he's in Devil Trigger form.
Yeah, which
so gyros are really interesting. I'm sorry, Mecca, go ahead.
So the entire routing discussion here is actually only adds a lot of flair to how well you can approach your runs. If you don't feel if you don't feel confident about yourself or the way you wanna run the game, especially in the marathon settings where you pretty much are, let's say, you can't risk a lot of things in the marathon setting because you are risking of going overestimates. And if you go overestimate, there is an old Russian saying, if you go overestimate, you're gonna lose your kneecaps. And nobody likes to lose his kneecaps, especially if you're Virgil, because how can Virgil is gonna dive kick a lot? Yeah.
True.
See how he's got those feet planted too, dude. He's got the stance.
So, because we can refund our abilities, we can always think about this beautiful thing. Like, if you don't feel like you want to play a lot riskier, which is only gets rewarded at the high-level play, where we consolidate our menus so, let's say, so so big and so high, yeah, and so careful. So we ain't spending a single second getting any extra menus, and if we get hit, in example, because getting hit is your worst case scenario in this game, we can easily just figure out what we sell, where we can sell, what should we sell. Overall, this creates a very interesting way of running this game in terms of menuing, in terms of routing, etc. So it's mostly highlighted on the Nero segments and lady segments, which are sadly not going to be shown here because we're running Virgil. We're running Blue Guy, Team Blue Guy, assemble. Oh yeah, speaking of the Blue Guys, we have something coming.
Yeah, we have the succubus that are actually attached to a frog, and fortunately for Virgil, this frog isn't really an obstacle. So Igna's gonna knock him down and then punch him in the face, and boom goes the dynamite.
There goes the frog.
If you really needed like a sort of exhibit A on how overpowered this character is, that's just kind of it right there. The last two bosses got punched once and they died.
So let me quickly drop this very interesting piece of information. A lot of enemies in this game have their weak points. So an example, if you stun the frog kind of gives her tongue out of the mouth. So if you hit the tongue, you get like double damage multiplier. So that multiplier gets amplified by distortion that Igna can do. He'll always do distortions, it's easy, trust me. But the thing is, Beowulf by itself has this weird technique called just charges that are, well, they are not that hard to explain, but they are very hard to master. Not on Virgil though, because on Virgil you basically have a free just charges. So let me give you a short explanation what it looks like. So whenever you charge your Beowulf attack from level 0 to level 1, so basically from uncharged state to a single charged state, you get a very short window. It's a couple of frames, maybe like 2 or 3 frames, doesn't really matter. I won't say frame perfect because it's definitely not frame perfect though. So if you release your attack button during these very small windows, you get a tremendous attack boost. So if by any means you combine this big damage boost with a distortion technique, a lot of enemies, a lot of stuff will go so fast you won't have even a chance to say goodbye, because this is how Virgil works. Sigma Crane set, you see. So yeah. As Virgil, as you might have noticed already, we are doing a lot of rapid slashes or a lot of judgment cuts, but we also do a technique called blistering swords. It's not a technique, it's more like an attack. So because of the way you gotta execute blistering swords, which basically hold, shoot, hold, lock on, hold forward at the same time, Virgil is one of the characters in 4C that's, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion, is more or less easier to play with a gamepad. Sorry. Whereas the rest of the characters of this game, so Lady, Nero, Dante, Trish, are much easier to play on a keyboard. So let's discuss the difference between the gamepads and keyboards, shall we? Devil May Cry 4 is one of the games...
I do want to say one thing really quick too, is that the third level of Beowulf is only available at max level concentration. So when you get into these boss fights, it's pretty much imperative that you have max level concentration, and this is why like Virgil is such a momentum based character. Is like, so when you get hit in a fight, it will not only cause you to lose your node bonus, your node damage bonus, it'll also cost you your concentration meter. You see here when he gets hit by the fish, he's going to lose the entire concentration bar. So you got to work back up to the point that you were at coming into the fight. So there are some cases where like it's not really a huge deal, like this mission in particular, but there are other cases like, you know, boss fights where if you don't maintain level 3 concentration the whole time, you're gonna lose out on your main strategy, basically.
Yeah. So luckily over
Yeah.
this mission, we don't need it that much because we don't need actual concentration for the rest of the boss fight that we're gonna go to. But if by any chance we get hit in a boss fight or something, we have to invest a little bit of time just standing still, looking at the boss menacingly, just for us to charge concentration again. But in some cases, you can also charge it while you fight on the boss in different ways. So. It is of course optimal to have it high all the time, but if you miss it, it's not the end of the world. You can definitely recover.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
welcome to the dice game, my comrades. One does not simply skip the dice game, so we're gonna just play it casually. So the dice goes with the same pattern: 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 1, as far as I remember. Might be a little bit wrong, but does not matter. If you hit the dice with your weapon or your buster or a couple of other things, a couple of other attacks, with the number at its top, you're always gonna get the very same number, which eliminates the random element that caused a lot of problems for casual playthroughs for a lot of people.
This
It's a
also,
window.
by the way. This window fight right here. This is the only like optimized window fight in the entire game because the other characters just kind of have to throw the swords into the window and hope for the best. However, you saw there, Virgil is so what happens is they made it so that certain attacks could stick the swords into the window. By the way, this is one of the best games ever made, and there's a boss that's a window. So while that sinks in, let me explain the strat. So basically, Virgil in DT, or in Devil Trigger, can stick the swords into the window. By using the lunar phase, that sort of washing machine looking move in Devil Trigger, you can actually just slam the sword back into the window and reapply the damage over and over again. And that move hits like a ton of times. So that's why you saw him also use a Devil Star there, so he could get effectively 2 bars of Devil Trigger and just totally decimate the window. It's a really cool strat. It's a little bit finicky to pull off, but it's really cool when you do pull it off. It ends that fight in like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, there's even a chance that you can stick 2 swords at the same time in the window, and the health bar just melts, like it disappears completely. As well, it's kind of risky because if you don't get like really good swords when you hit it to the window, if they clash with another sword, they're gonna break. So, oops, cutscenes later. So if they break, you're basically done. And there's also a chance that if you don't get the correct angle while you are spinning on the sword, you can break it. So if you break it, you're welcome to Slow Town, and your population is you.
Oh.
It is like a
So
minute of
what's
time
your
loss.
what's your favorite Windows theme, guys?
Windows theme? I don't know, maybe I don't know. I feel like 10's okay.
I'm an XP fan.
10's.
Oh.
Okay, that's fair too, yeah.
Well, you see, in the world of Devil May Cry 4, your favorite Windows theme is motivational one.
True.
I mean, yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
I've ever found the Windows themes particularly motivational.
So what does this
Well,
do really
because
cool here? Just a second.
Okay, here we
We're
go.
gonna go
Yeah, here
ahead
we go.
and
Just
move.
watch the camera here, everybody.
I'm just gonna spoil
The
it.
camera literally cannot.
Just watch
yeah,
it. Just watch it.
Yeah. It's so good.
We move so fast that the camera cannot keep up with us. Like we're just basically a blue blur.
Also, I saw a question in the chat about, is this really a new game? Is Virgil just that busted right out of the gate? And the answer is yes. In pretty much every game that Virgil's in, he's super strong because, I mean, in this game particularly, they designed him for Legendary Dark Knight. For 4 and 5, they designed him for the Legendary Dark Knight difficulties. So he just sort of, decimates everything in his path because of that.
So something that I just did that I don't know if everybody noticed. This specialization includes what is called Turbo, which makes the game run. I cannot speak today. The game run 20% faster than the original version that was released a while back. The thing is that for this specific mission, we need to turn it off because we need to do a skip that I'm gonna let the commentator here to explain while I work at it in a moment. But we definitely need it just for this mission, and it changes a lot of the gameplay because Judgment cut in without turbo is really hard. And as well, we need double trigger for the next skip that we're gonna do. So that's why I try to just fight this with Beowulf, because if I fight it with Beowulf, it's gonna make the double trigger go higher faster.
Yeah. So the original, I mean, okay,
Here was.
let me
You
just
get this
start
one.
over.
You want me to get this one? This is a lot, dude. This one's a lot.
I mean,
Are you talking about Lost Feather, right? Is that what you want to talk about? Lost
so-
Feather? Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
One of the first persons that actually found the skip is a Chinese, I think, Lost Feather.
Yeah, he's Chinese. Yeah. Yeah.
So Lost Feather found this beautiful skip that you can see right now on the runner's end.
Got it.
This skip combines a lot of momentum-based moves like roulette spins, like inertia-based stuff like stingers, and combines them all into a very big skip that saves 1 minute and a half. So this skip was found in, I think it was 2017-ish. It has been only done for Virgil for a lot of time, and nobody kind of figured out how does it work. How this works, because from 2017 till 2020, I think, there were barely like no runners of Virgil that could have like deciphered the mystery of the skip, you see. So once upon a time, a great runner Martin Time and Renzer came and they just said, alright, Lost Feather, your reign's over, give us your skip. And thus bring you this beautiful skip like this. So a lot of skips in this game are weird, to be frankly honest.
Yeah, a lot of them are physics based, and like basically when you're on turbo and you grapple over a ledge like that, everything that you do is physics based for Virgil and for Nero. When you turn off turbo and then you stand in certain spots, the way that the physics work on those certain spots allow you to land at the edge of that ledge there. So normally what you would do is you would like, go to the next ledge and then grapple over, and then you would go to like fight a couple of Mephistos or whatever, the cloaked dudes. But for whatever reason, standing in those spots, when it allows us to land on that very edge, we can actually just hop technically out of bounds and then go to the bottom half of that room, which leads us to the boss area. And the way this game treats rooms, it really allows for sequence breaks quite easily. As long as you hit a door and the door's not locked off, the game's just gonna let you progress, like no matter what.
True. So something that you might have noticed there that I was doing is that I use some enemies that there have no actual way to hit me, just to charge my concentration. And this is basically concentration management, because if I go into this fight without concentration, first it's gonna be really painful because those guys are extremely aggressive, and I wouldn't be able to charge concentration properly there. So you're gonna see that from time to time for the rest of the run, because we really do need concentration to beat a lot of enemies.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to mention earlier, was that when you go into certain rooms and you have to, build up concentration because of something that you did earlier that kind of spent it or something, you do just have to stand there. And for whatever reason, the game just rewards. They're like, oh yeah, he's just standing there menacingly. Let's just build the concentration meter. It's great. This was something that they actually changed in 5, was that, standing still doesn't build you nearly as much concentration as actually doing stuff.
In 5, it requires you to be a little bit more aggressive. On this one, it kind of requires you to be patient, basically trying to make you feel like you're actually Virgil.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, this puzzle here is always the same. You always you have to go like opposite of the shadows, essentially, because it says something about finding the light or whatever. On the stones there, the tablets that are in the center of those areas. But once you know where to go, you just kind of just do it. So you can see Igna here charging up his concentration again. I should also note that missing attacks, if they actually like count as if they count as like hitting air, then that'll also lose concentration, which is why he dive kicked into that door transition, but it's not going to count against him. So that's cool. This is Credo, which is like the best boss in the game that we, for whatever reason, only fight once. This
I
is
don't
Nero's
agree.
adopted brother. This is the best. Absolutely, dude. Heck
I
yeah.
mean, we have window fight. What are we talking about?
True. That's fair, but it was looking a little greased today. It didn't have the Windex, you know.
Easy. So, something that you guys might have noticed there is that I purchased 2 things before this fight. The first thing that I bought was a purple orb for me to recharge my devil trigger. And the second one is the most OP move in this game, which is heavy rain swords, which is basically going to make swords fall from the sky and they paralyze enemies on place. Since I have level 3 swords and that move, I can basically charge my punches for concentration impacts on what's this called, distortions, I'm sorry.
Yep.
And I just get it basically for free.
Yeah.
And we're going to
So
do
a
that for
lot
the
of-
rest of the bosses.
Yeah, so a lot of like the setups that we used to have to do, or like the openings that we used to have to look for on bosses, they're gonna quickly kind of like go by the wayside because Virgil just, as you get more money, he just gets way better options. Are you just gonna restart?
So,
all right. Yeah,
so here
Give it a
there's
ball.
another skip. It was originally found by Lost Feather.
Hey,
If you do a very precise amount of, oh look,
okay, fair enough.
we have something coming, guys. It's something we call balls.
Yeah.
Look at them balls, they're flying. Oh yeah, so yeah, if you do a couple of interesting and precise rapid slashes, you can easily skip this biggest fight. And Igna just got the very luckiest, literally best possible outcome of this fight. It's called the ball.
Oh.
Ball basically kills everyone.
Got it
Gives you a
again.
ton of gives you a ton of orbs, give you a ton of Del Trigger, makes you happy about yourself also.
It looks like that orb pondering meme, though. It looks like that same sort of gradient as the darn orb pondering meme. And now I just
Okay.
can't unsee it, and I'm just gonna not like myself for the rest of the day because of that.
Wait, so,
So-
are we screaming orb now?
I mean, we could say orb, you know, because
Orb.
I mean, we are on GDQ, so we got to say orb instead of ball, dude.
Oh yeah.
True.
I feel like
Sorry.
that's just. I feel like that's what's it called? I feel like that's just like a rite of passage, right? You have to at least run
Alright,
one game
look.
where you can shout orb.
Alright, look.
Also, here's another skip right here. So he's gonna go
try to
right
go.
Wait.
over these. Okay, hold on. Yep.
Oh no. Okay, so the biggest problem with these ones is the height management. But it's not only that, because you gotta also manage your angle. It's very hard to perform on a keyboard. So by combining your roulette spins, by combining your trick ups and doing your oh my,
Oh, it didn't work.
this ain't going too well.
we'll fight the frosts.
So by combining by combining all of the moves.
Yeah. Go ahead.
By combining all of the moves here, we can very barely go above the invisible walls that are, well, scattered here, there, everywhere. Game likes invisible walls, like it likes invisible windows sometimes. So
True.
it's very hard to perform these skips for all the characters, which only makes this run only harder as Virgil, which has a ton of skips, or as Nero, which doesn't have that much skips. But well, we have some skips on Dante and a couple of ones for Trish and Lady. So
Look,
yeah,
man,
overall,
as a lady player, I would kill for something like that in this mission.
Lady will be faster if she had the skips, actually.
That's
so
true.
yeah, despite the run being, let's say, having the very same enemies, very same bosses, very same stuff that you can play around with, you can easily watch the game as your private sandbox with, let's say, a couple of different properties, and you basically choose the properties you want to play around. So if you want to play around inertia, if you want to play around cool momentum, if you want to just feel good about yourself, well, play Nero. If you want to feel overpowered, if you want to feel like you want to just punch people down, like Igna, punch this Agnes down to the trash can, play Virgil. If you like shoot stuff down, if you like some ladies, play Lady and Trash, yeah. And if you want to feel even better about yourself, maybe learn a couple of interesting techniques. If you want to learn how to distort and use jolt charges like a man, play Dante, my comrades. It's gonna be good.
Virgil Distractor. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's pretty cool. He do got the blue.
I like blue. I'm wearing red, but I didn't have a blue shirt today, so has to go with red today.
Oh no. You should have done the laundry, dude. Virgil players never doing laundry, I swear. They think the machine's just gonna do it for them.
True.
So yeah, very important thing to talk about here is that these enemies, Mephistos and Fausts, they have a very, let's say, menacing glitch. It's menacing.
Please don't.
Yes, we're gonna talk about it. We're going to talk about
Oh yeah, so what
yeah.
Becca's referring to is if you judgment cut the Mephistos or the Fausts, those cloaked guys there, and they're like kind of inbounds, kind of not, and you decloak them, the game will just void them out, and it for whatever reason it will just soft lock you. So there's a chance that if you're running Virgil at some point, like you'll see an enemy just disappear, and you're just like, wait a minute. Hold on, why is the battle not ending? And it's like, oh, well, I just got soft locked.
And the worst part is that it completely disappears for existence, so you can go for an AoE attack or something, and they are still completely gone. Okay, let me just try to get this skip for a second.
Oh, yeah, this one. So this skip was found by me in, I think, 2018, for Virgil specifically.
Got it first try.
Yeah, good. And the
So good at this game.
And the stuff Igna just is about to use is is a different variation of the skip, which is found by Russian runner Renzero, who well learned this game from the scratch, got very strong times here and there, and is currently grinding for very good times in both Virgil and Nero Dante categories.
So this is Dante. You might know him from the Shin Megami Tensei series. And what we're gonna do to him is that if he wants to behave, we're gonna try to stun lock him. We're gonna spin on him so hard with an infinite that he doesn't get to play. Can I get some spins in chat, please?
So important part here. So we mentioned earlier that well, FPS has a very big difference in this game. So this spin cycle that Igna is doing is only possible on 60 FPS. But if you are a handsome person, you can do the very same spins on 120 despite having a ton of problems with this. Because one of the main reasons Virgil is being played on 60 is because you get a lot longer rapid slash, you get a lot more consistent judgment cuts, you get a lot more consistent spins. But also, if you do chain your air spins without tricking up or just without stopping, you can get an infinite height glitch, which basically allows you to get, well, infinite height with these spins. It's not being used anywhere because the walls in this game are so high, you can't see a single window out of there. So, well, yeah, makes a lot of place for the balls.
Okay,
anyway.
We have the guy. We all know the guy. So basically,
this guy.
we need to try to trigger this. But the guy likes to do this. So hopefully we'll skip him.
Kind of hangs out here. Yep.
There you go.
That's what happened.
Got it. I was gonna kill him if he just broke me down again, just for the marathon's sake.
One interesting
Also,
part.
I saw a question in chat that said, "What's the fastest language for this game?" To our knowledge, at least to my knowledge, language does not matter in this game. We're not gated by dialogue ever. So
We also have
can just
skippable
play
cutscenes.
Oh yeah.
we have totally skippable cutscenes too. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. You can just play pretty much on whatever. I think everybody here, and I think all the runners on the board all play on English.
So, Cosmic, it is time to beat the old man.
Yeah, it's time to punch the old man. It's time to beat up the Pope real quick.
Whoa. Okay.
Boom. Okay, why did
it get the second phase?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's kind of strange.
Maybe.
He's supposed to go like immediately to the second phase.
Yeah.
Watch it be like one tick away. Of course he is, dude.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
I missed a little bit of the cuts at the very beginning. So hello, Judgment Con Machine Rogue?
So, for those who just came, this
gonna be
is the
bad.
power of distortion with a jaws charged punches from Beowulf. It's not technically
yeah.
a glitch.
He's not behaving.
So, yeah, as you can see,
This guy
Igna
really
is. So as you can see, Igna is having a couple of problems here, but this is fine because this is a marathon. Who could have like gotten a perfect marathon run? Nobody ever. This is fine. Trust us.
So what happened there
yeah.
is that for some reason I was not getting the judgment cuts that I was expecting to, and something like that happens from time to time. It's still something that you can save, but it is what it is. So now this is going to be a little bit of the backdraw of having been hit on the first mission with Burial. So basically I don't have enough money to buy the next move, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to refound one of the moves, which is called Stinger, that I'm not going to use for the rest of the run anymore, and that way I can buy the attack. And I'm not going to spoil it, we're going to see it really soon, but I'm not going to use the Stinger anymore. So this is a way that you can adapt to continue a run even if you don't get an optimal start.
And this is about the point in the game as well where if you're playing pretty much any other category, you actually switch to a different character. Virgil has the luxury of having the economy all to himself and playing the entire game by himself. So you really get to, in this run, kind of route around just being able to, or only having to play one character. And it also makes the economy a little easier because eventually you'll get everything that you need anyway. It's not consolidated into like, with Nero where it's like, okay, well, I got to get everything within these couple of levels because then that means that, Dante will have an easier time. Yeah, so that's Judgment Cut End, by the way, that just happened.
Yeah.
Judgment Cut End is a area-wide or I think maybe screen-wide clear where Virgil just kind of revs up and then does the anime sword guy thing and everything dies.
So the thing about Judgment Cut End is that it is not free. Like, you have to actually have full concentration for it, and you have to have double trigger to use it. If you have enough double trigger and you know how to mash like a mad lad, you can squeeze 3 in a row. But it's really rare occasion where you actually need a third one. We might see that if one of the things goes sideways later on, but we shouldn't be having any problems.
So, the way Judgment Cut End works is actually slightly different, my comrades. So, yeah, you see, because the inputs are lock for whatever inputs there is. So, if you rotate your screen backwards from the cone, because the Judgment Cut End is actually a cone, it's not cut end, it's a cone end, you see? So there's a very wide cone in front of Virgil that gets hit, and so each enemy that gets outside of this cone before the Virgil finishes his first phase of the attack, so like before the screen freeze, well, these enemies aren't gonna get hit. So you gotta be very careful with using this attack in a couple of places because some enemies that you want to get hit might just go outside of the cone and just, well, okay, you just spent your entire DT meter and you've got nothing.
And then you feel bad.
Yeah, nah, you don't feel bad. You feel motivated to get good, you see? So yeah, this is something called rapid/movement, because you might have saw this earlier in Mission 6, an example, but this is basically a more clear display of how Virgil's movement option is clearly the best from the entire game. He has a ton of ways to move around. So yeah, welcome to the forest once again. Because, well, forest is cool. Everyone likes forest. Do you like forest, Cosmic?
Yeah.
I mean, the trees are pretty cool, to be honest.
Have you?
I like trees. They give us oxygen so we can breathe.
Yeah, the
I'm a fan
foliage.
of breathing.
I'm down with the foliage, gang. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I do see a question in chat there. This Judgment Cut actually takes your entire concentration. It does not. What it drains is your devil trigger while you do it. So
Yeah.
you have to actually take into account the amount of devil trigger you'll have. So if you know how to calculate it properly, you'll be able, like I said, to do several in a row. But at the same time, if you get hit in the middle of it or you lose concentration for another reason, you will not be able to do it. So you have to be careful when you do it. For example, on next mission, there's some areas that we can definitely go for some AoE attacks. The thing is that we don't go for them because we have to stand still, and we're gonna find a really interesting enemy there that is not gonna allow us to stay still.
Oh, you're talking about that enemy. We're gonna talk
That
about it
enemy.
later, I think.
Oh yeah,
Bad
Because
we can wait.
because right now we're coming to the very let's say new boss, a very new boss.
New.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the newest one. I love this boss.
Do you know, like, the Devil May Cry 4 SE just had an update, guys, and they introduced a new boss for Virgil. Imagine.
Can you imagine that?
Hey, it's a kidnap game. How about that?
Oh no! I was talking about a different boss.
Maybe. Well, I mean, that
Oh.
would be in Devil May Cry 5.
She's aggressive today.
No.
Oh my.
It's okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, the problem with Echidna and a couple of other bosses in this game is that the way you manipulate the bosses and their patterns, let's say, kind of differs from time to time. A lot of these bosses are manipulated by simply standing at a specific point of the arena and letting the bosses sometimes do whatever they want. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. From my knowledge, a lot of these boss fights were optimized to a point where it's either a forced 50-50 that you have to take, or it's basically an autoscaler in case of majority of the Virgil boss fights or Nero's boss fights. For some characters in this game, and for some bosses in this game for sure, especially for Dante boss fights that you won't see in this run, a lot of these fights are different than Virgil ones. They're longer, they're harder, but again, we're doing the Igna's strats here. And you see what Igna does? It does in mission 14. So you see there is a weird tentacle enemy here. So reminder, we're rushing down the guy for a special edition speedrun with a Virgil New Game Devil Hunter category. And these beautiful tentacles are trying to take our Igna away from us. So please show some baljosh for Igna. Show some respect. This guy is trying so hard that no single tentacle is going to stop him.
Yeah,
Can
this
you
is
explain what exactly these tentacles do?
Yeah, so these enemies are called faults, and in the famous words of Batman, this is where I watched my PDs die, Raphael. Cowabummer. So Cowabummer. So the faults are an enemy, not enemy, that they come out of the ground at specific points, and if they eat you, then you have to go and do a forced fight, and then you have to start the fight that you were in over again. So they can cause a lot of time loss. You can, however, destroy them, like you just saw one, destroyed there a couple of seconds ago. And that'll take it out of the area for a little while, but normally what you want to do is you just kind of want to navigate to, because the faults don't count towards the the total enemy count in the forced fights. So you just want to go after the enemies that are not faults. The ones that are not your fault, so to speak. Oh my goodness, that
What
was
is
close.
scary about this mission is that while you are fighting these guys, you get a lot of those those faults spawning, as you can see, and they're known to be in the worst place that they can be at any point. So the thing with Rapid Slash is, since I move on a horizontal way, sometimes I don't see where I'm gonna land, and there's a chance that a fault can just appear out of nowhere and hit me at the ending lag of the movement. So that could happen. Something that always happens as well is that you get hit and they just push you into a fault and you're done. So that is why we go for the this is where I watch my PV die.
Also, for whatever reason, they put like two of the meanest enemies together in the same room.
I wouldn't.
We have the Chimera Assaults, which they're enemies that can break out of your combos. or like they can retaliate while they're in hit stuns. While they're in hit stun. So that room together with the faults, I've had times where those Chimera assaults will just knock me straight into a fault, and then I just get eaten. And it's like, well, that's bad news, bears.
That's horrible news.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we're going to get a couple of holy waters here, and then we're going to go ahead to the next enemy, which is called the Blitz. Now, the Blitz has an electric shield, and we're going, instead of, you know, fighting it straight up, we're just going to use a holy water on it. Because it takes a really long time to kill, so we're just going to not bother with it. We're just going to be like, well, nope, see you later.
So,
Bye.
for a casual playthrough, blitzes can be either killed by using your blistering swords or using your judgment cancels in a very precise manner. Combining both of those while blitz is just standing still or just appearing anywhere on your screen, most of the time will work. For Dante, you can use Royal Guard to quickly dispatch of the blitz shield or use Pandora, and for Nero you have charge shots. So if you've played any sort of bloody palace, you can easily notice how Virgil's approach for this speedrun, past mission 12 is very similar to how we
Got a triple.
Oh, that's good.
Almost.
That's good.
Oh, but you did get that. Okay, very nice. Good,
See,
good.
So,
I told a lot of people that you can squeeze a triple one, but nobody believes me.
I mean, I believed you. I had faith. Praise the
yeah.
sun.
Yeah.
so you can easily notice how playing Virgil past mission 12 is basically a new game plus. And with these very small amount of skills, you can already put like 95% of what Virgil character can do. So it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much long time to actually reach your maximum, let's say, strength capacity as Virgil, whereas it takes a lot of time with Lady or Nero, for example. Sure, the longest one's Dante because a lot of styles to try out. Pandora upgrades are very important as well, but overall Virgil is by far the easiest character to max out and reach your maximum DPS capacity, whatever. So, which only kind of reminds me, Cosmic, can you quickly explain to viewers how Devil May Cry boards look overall? Give us a quick introduction to the community.
In terms of what? That's a very loaded question, sir. Sort of like how these frosts are catching their work right now. With
You see, they're so cold that I'm not afraid of getting more cold, you see, in the winter.
I mean, usually the way that the boards are set up is usually by like new game. A lot of us just kind of run like new game categories. There are some other categories like 100% for DMC1 or like new game plus stuff, you know, on some of the other games. But I mean, usually it's all set up by new game, and we just kind of go with 100%.
Yep.
But why aren't you running DMD? Oh my god, DMD 100% Cosmic.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because DMD is slow. That's why. DMC1 though is fun. In DMC1 though,
It's
DMD is a
fine.
great category. Great.
Alright,
Oh
so
no, that's unfortunate.
we are still coming to another frog, and oh nay, comrades, you hate to see this. Yeah, this is usual frog moment during your world-based runs, provided by Renzoros Run Assassins.
Oh,
Hello.
This is like the worst frog I think probably in the whole run. Just because like, oh man, I don't really know where to begin.
Well,
it's just definitely the what's it called?
I can explain
it's
if you want.
definitely, like, super random. Super random.
Okay,
I mean, but we
so-
also have we have a skip coming up that's like really big, and I don't want to miss that. We can go.
I
over
can explain it
frogs.
while I
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah.
So the next mission is mission 16. It's a really long mission, but we have a way to actually make it shorter. Why? Because it's faster. So this is basically what happens. We have a skip that is called gas skip. So you see the room full of gas. So what we're gonna do is something really simple. We're gonna chain a couple of attacks here, and boom, we're on the end of the level. Just skip the entire level. Basically what happens there is that the ceiling on this room doesn't have any collision loaded. So as long as we can gain enough height, we can definitely just go at the end of the mission. This skips like a 4-minute mission
like
or
2
something.
minutes, but it's really hefty. And I mean, as you can see, Igna's health is ticking down here because of the gas. So being able to bypass a couple of combat sections where your health is constantly draining is just super great. It's super nice. This was something that was originally, it was only known for Virgil for a few years. It wasn't until I think 2019 that Trish and Dante actually got their own versions, and they were found by a guy named One Sanitarium, and he called it Zenbu Skip.
And now it's gas skip.
But, Virgil definitely has the easiest version.
Prior to this skip, so like before the skip was found, for Nero and Dante, we were running this game. Running this mission as normal, and this mission took like a lot of minutes. Like 4 minutes or so was considered a good mission. 16, but since that skip was found, that skip basically made me come back to this game and grind this game a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
During the early 2019.
Yeah, it was
go
a skip that like really revitalized a lot of people's.
So we're gonna show the new movement that I bought. That is gonna be the boss killer. It's called Dragon Breaker. So we're gonna use a combination of everything that we have, and we have 2 uppercuts here. And the fun part is that each of them has a distortion hitbox that we can just exploit.
Yeah, so Dragon Breaker, kind of similar to Ken from Street Fighter's Shoryu Reppa. It just hits a bunch of times, and so Igna is like constantly distorting during those hits, so he's creating multiple instances of double damage, which is why you saw that boss's health just melt. And now, because he has heavy range swords where he can just trap the boss in place, he doesn't really have to worry about, waiting for an opportunity. He can create opportunities. The power of Virgil, dude.
And we have to take into account that these are endgame bosses. The game is 20 missions long. Oh my god, I got lost there. So it is endgame mission bosses, so they have a ton more health than usual, and we just take seconds to kill them. It's pretty fun. Oh,
This mission here too. This is, normally this mission is like a huge fest of something, a huge clown fiesta. I guess the scarecrows kind of look like clowns, so that's cool. But
we live in armored clad faith, cosmic.
Fair enough. This is also, I think, the last group of 3 Angelos that you'll encounter in the game.
That we have to fight,
So,
yes.
Yeah, that we have to fight, yeah. So that's the last time that you will see Judgment Cut used on them. Or if you were another character, you would probably just wait for...
we have one more Judgment Cut coming up, and I think that's the last one on the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're correct, yeah. This alleyway right here, by the way, just take this in, okay, for a second, chat, where there's an enemy that you can decloak, and if it falls too far, it will recloak. And there's multiple sections in this level, or this room here, that are counted as out of bounds. So the enemy will fall indefinitely out of your reach, and then completely recloak again. So you'll have to damage them again to decloak.
But the fun part
it's a hectic mess
about Virgil is that bounds mean nothing to us. We can just continue hitting Judgment Cuts, even if the enemy is completely out of bounds. Unless they seep out of existence. On that one, I can't help you, sir.
That's true. I was thinking about the fair characters.
No, you meant to play fair characters.
911 Cold Boner Hero.
Easy.
Ooh, hold on, hero. No chokes here.
Okay.
All right, very
So,
nice.
so
And
as you
then-
can see here, a lot of good dogs died here.
They're not good. I hate them. They're aggressive.
They're no longer with us.
I mean, you have a cat. What's your...
True.
I yell.
Oh my god, he went full Beyblade on me.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. Hydration. To the rescue. Chad, remember to drink water.
And so
Drink
after
cucumbers.
this, after drink cucumbers. So do you drink cucumber juice? Are you on the kale fad as well? Is that what's going down? I'm finding a lot about you today, sir.
Nah.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
we're
here's,
coming to
here's the next boss.
we're gonna boil some
Eggs.
eggs. Yes.
Also,
So, yeah,
for those of you that have played Devil May
he
Cry
moved.
5, this is Nico's dad. Just let that sink in for a second.
Hi, Dad.
Nah, he moved, so I couldn't get the Dragon Breaker, but it's fine. We just spin to win.
Oops.
That's fair, yep. Boom.
So, yeah,
Boom goes the
if-
dynamite.
If everything else fails, just remember to be like Sonic. Sonic is blue, Virgil is blue, spin to win. It's all I know.
They both have spiky hair. You know,
True.
Yeah.
I'm sure they
So-
both go through like the same amount of pomade. You know.
I think they might get along, since they're both basically the same.
So,
Maybe not.
yeah. A lot of the strats for this particular category has been redefined and rerouted by a Russian runner who I've mentioned earlier, Renzero.
Now, we're gonna see something new, actually. First time, the new strat that we have for Savior. So,
Yeah.
let me just explain what happens with this. So, the Savior
Yeah,
itself
this
is
is
a
completely
giant
new.
boss that it's a puzzle. So, we have to break all the orbs that he has around his body just to get his health bar. And the thing that we do, and first things that we do actually, is try to get up his head. So now, if he was nice, he will hit it here. He's nice now. And we're gonna get into his arm. So usually what we did is that we broke the first one here, but now we just ignore it. And we just go for the ones that we care, the shoulder and the head, and break them right away. So it pushes the Savior into the second phase. And we just go and find a cannon, because I'm so lucky that I get a cannon first try. And we stun him again. And now we just go around the body and we break the rest of them. And the reason why this is a new strat is that since we used to break the one in the hand, when you're on top of the hand, you only have the shot to destroy 2 crystals. And usually you need to get a really, really fast movement and attack to hit the swords that you're shooting. What am I doing? The sword that you're shooting on the head. So that also costs like a minute of time loss. So we thought, why are we doing that if we can just break the one in the hand while we're doing all the jumps, and we can just like save some time and not kill the run to this boss. And this was found yesterday, and we recently implemented it, and it makes this boss to be 100% free.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Also, this is
Yeah.
this boss right here can be one shot by distorted dragon breakers on any difficulty. So if you're playing casually on Dante Must Die and you're having problems getting past this boss, here's the strat for you.
So we just look at him menacingly, we wait for the head, we wait for the crystal, and we start charging our Dragon Breaker. And with distortion, punch it. That's it. Boss is done.
Yep, boss is totally toast.
If
And,
you are interested in learning any of the stuff you've seen thus far, you can easily reach us into Discord. We'll teach you a
Yeah,
lot of cool
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, we're always around
Because
to help people.
because a lot of people seem to be struggling with the very first steps. And I can tell you an interesting story while we're entering mission 19, which is a boss
Oh,
rush
yeah.
mission.
this is where I
Which
watched my
basically
war
consists of-
record die. 6
Ah,
times.
you'll-
these are all PBs go to die.
You'll get
dude.
another one,
You'll be
relax. So,
I get it.
You'll be all right.
The current world record for both Virgil and Neurodante, Renzoro, he came to the community 1.5 years ago. I found this guy streaming his Devil May Cry 4 casual playthroughs. He wasn't talking that much, he was playing Virgil, and the guy had no idea how to do judgment cuts, how to do distortion and stuff.
no.
It was like a very interesting like concept to
Okay.
it. So I showed him a lot of clips, a lot of stuff, and look where he's now. So a lot of this. Oh, that's a nice burial, by the way.
That's unfortunate right there.
Oh no, he's just
Is he
mean
just-
today.
What
That's
is he
okay.
doing, dude? What?
He just wants more screen time. Like the other two versions didn't have
That's
enough.
fair.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die actually.
Alright, this is fine.
That's fine. We just spin to win.
No, we ain't spinning to win.
Okay.
His name's Burial. Remember his name. Your spins will not work here, Mr. Igna.
This is
Please.
the obvious point. where I
Oh
make
gosh,
the-
he's
the-
so aggressive today.
The burial, the light joke. Is that right?
Oh my god, I actually died.
Uh-oh.
Yo,
That's a new one.
I didn't send any run assassins.
Didn't you?
Oh, yo.
All right,
It's
well,
fine. We
whatever.
get another shot
It's
to the
cool,
Dragon
yeah,
Breaker.
So sometimes burial on mission 19 is just kind of like this. You just kind of have to hope that he cooperates with you. So here we go again.
It's okay.
Reminder that run assassins are real, and this game is a neural network secretly, so this is fine.
All right, so here we go.
Again?
One more time.
Why is that happening? This is like the third time that it happens on this fight. Oh my
that's
god.
weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's very strange. It seems like he's like breaking out early.
Yeah, I think that it's because I'm stunning him in the same moment that... Oh, I'm gonna die again, by the way. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's fine.
Dude,
I don't
he's just
understand.
doing it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I just need to be a little bit more patient. I'm going in really, really fast, so let's just try it again.
Okay, yeah. This is, by the way, like a prime example of what I was talking about, where like the character's super momentum heavy. So when Igna is losing the concentration, he has to kind of like fight for the momentum in the fight back. So he can't even use like his distorted Dragon Breaker like just yet. He has to make sure that he gets all of the concentration back, and then he can go for it.
Oh my god, not again.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
I was gonna say, man, just judgment cut him.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have the judgment cut him. Oh, he's double triggering.
Remind yourself
my
that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Also, this is a good time to mention that in Special Edition, they actually maxed out all the boss aggro tables compared
What
to the
is
original release.
going on?
That was a pretty crazy hitbox, I'm just going to say.
Okay.
It's got something else.
Okay.
This happened. This entire moment that you can see right now always happens if the game just casually decides to screw you over. This is fine.
This game is
so
insane.
it just kind of
No.
happens. Yeah.
Which only kind of highlights a very interesting aspect of this run that kind of gets discarded the higher you climb onto the rankings. Despite our, let's say, speed games not having too much runners overall.
There you go. First try.
There we go. Oh, yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
Very
you can all
nice.
clap in chat. First try.
First try. What are we talking about? Okay, so go for it.
So yeah, so let me continue. So yeah, despite us not having a lot of runners here and there, there is always a place for creativity. There is always a place for new strats, and there is always a place for,
He's gonna jump.
let's say,
Oh, he didn't. What are those
So, yeah.
iframes?
so yeah, basically a lot of freestyle in the speedruns, which only makes this particular game a lot better to talk with. IMO.
A lot of room for adaptation, absolutely.
Yeah, and this so-called adaptation sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of adaptation can be seen, I think, in Neuro and Lady Trish speedruns, less on Virgil.
Yep.
Because Virgil has a very interesting and unique problem. Compared to the other cast of the characters in 4C, the higher you climb as Virgil, the less RNG you gotta manipulate, the less RNG you gotta wait, the less stuff you gotta do. Because Virgil is so strong, he doesn't care about your RNG. Like, if you wanna do some RNG, you can like play some Eurodante. It's perfect RNG category. I can assure you.
Now that's a kid, no?
Okay, that should be good.
But-
Oh, that was
so yeah.
interesting. Oh my goodness. He
Oh.
just got decimated. That was like,
She
you
just-
saw the whole health bar just popped. What?
She just decided to jump into the trash bin of the game, and it's like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this today.
He was like, it's fine, I'm done. See you later.
Yeah. Mandatory reminder to follow Igna on his beautiful Twitch.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because Igna is gonna be trying to get the world record anytime soon, and he's very close. He's closer than ever. So yeah, if you like this run so far,
Literally 2 seconds away.
yeah, if you like this run, please follow him. He's trying actually hard. His cat's throwing his runs away.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the cat. The cat named Taco. That's a great name. for a
Yeah, he's
cat.
actually on the couch, so I'm gonna show it after we're done.
Oh,
Because we always have to show the pets.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we're up to final boss, so we're gonna go hit time really soon.
Yeah, it should be coming up in like.
Oh my
a minute or
gosh.
something.
Hopefully the guy is actually nice, because he's known to just decide to jump around whenever we have to showcase the game.
yeah.
All right.
uh,
So last fight against
So-
Sanctus here. Yeah, he is powered
he's
up,
powered
but he's
up
still
now.
gonna die to 2
He
punches to
stole
the
the
gut.
sword.
You know,
So-
as you do.
Fun fact, the Sanctus in mission 20 is actually weaker than the Sanctus in mission 11, so that's something to keep in mind. His shield is weaker.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Well, the more you know.
Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, John.
Oh no, he's not behaving.
I'll let you call time.
Have to build
when you,
concentration now.
when you're good. This is gonna wrap it up.
Okay, time will be when I punch the guy.
So, Omae
That's
wa mo
time.
Shindeiru.
All right. And that was DMC4 Special Edition Virgil by igna77.
Yeah,
Good one,
Igna.
dude. Good job.
Igna's a good gamer, I think. So yeah,
Thanks a lot. So,
Let him.
I think
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna give some final words here. First, I would like to thank everybody on the DMC community, Cosmic, Mecha,
I
Rage,
did nothing.
Waifu, everybody, Ren as well. You guys are amazing. I started speedrunning almost a year ago, and I always wanted to be part of a GDQ event. Unfortunately, because of COVID and travel and all that, it's kind of hard because I'm from Latin America, so it's expensive. I got a shot to showcase this game that I've been running for so long, and I've been working so much on this, and this means a lot to me. And this is like a dream come true already. And I really want to thank everybody, especially here you guys on the couch, because you have been amazing with me, and we're still gonna go for it. I'm still grinding for record. I'll try to hit it. If something goes wrong with that, I have other categories I want to work on, but I'm gonna still be working on the blue guy that we all love. And here's a little someone that I want to show you guys real quick.
the biggest run assassin of them all.
Yeah,
the
the
biggest
biggest run
run
assassin of them all.
assassin of them
Absolutely.
all. This little
Good
guy
job,
here
Tony.
is Taco, and he loves to lean on my keyboard when I'm speedrunning, so he basically just pauses the game, and that's GG. But yeah, if you're interested in this game or any Devil May Cry game, you can join us on the Discord. We are always open to help. Everybody wants to join and learn the game. It's pretty cool. And if you want to support us, that's fine. And you can always follow me on igna_77 on Twitch. I try to stream a lot more than usual now, and we're going for this. So you can also give a follow to the other two guys here in chat with me. So if you want to take a moment to promote yourself while I show the cat to the chat again,
So
go for it.
I think instead of promoting myself, I think I want to say a couple of interesting words. So yeah, Igna is a very interesting person because he spent a lot of time in this community and with this game. But instead of following me, Mecha, I think Renzer deserves much more, let's say, attention. I think Art Killer deserves more attention. I think Bloodfish, DMC5 Runner deserves more attention. A lot of people that came into this community last year definitely needs more followers, more stuff, more everything than I do.
stuff. I
So
like it.
please,
Descriptive.
please join our community. Where, I mean, there is a lot of sort of controversies were in the past, but we ain't a part of these sort of controversies. So we are eager to teach every single person that is willing to take any sort of training, be it harsh or a pleasant one. We like to run these games. We like to explore these games. We also like cucumbers. Eat cucumbers a day, and you're gonna get PBs every single time. Trust me, this works for everyone. So yeah, a shout out basically to every single runner that run any DMC game for the past year or so. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, so I do just want to say thank you, GDQ, for having us on and for letting Igna do this run. Thank you, Igna, for having Mecha and I on commentary. And good job again, dude. If you want to follow Igna, you can follow him at igna_77 on Twitch. And that's really going to be it for me. I just want to shout out the whole DMC community, as well as my boys in the Vanquish community, which is another game that I run, and the Dirge of Cerberus peeps too. You should play Dirge of Cerberus. Dirge of Cerberus is a good game. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise.
I forgot. I forgot, Cosmic. We haven't shout out the one and only JC Pennies.
Oh yeah, Vash TSB. Shout outs to Vash TSB, who does a lot of work on commentating for a lot of the tournaments and stuff that we do. He commentated he commentated a bunch of runs for us as well at GDQ. So shout outs to that guy. And that's it from me.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. And here's stuck again.
Have a good
if you want
marathon,
to
everyone. Good luck.
And enjoy the show. It's gonna be a really good one. I want to hang out in chat for a while. And yeah, hope to see you later.
Yeah? So yeah, we're gonna send Igna to Brazil. Goodbye, Igna.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody.
I mean, excellent run. You know, always really cool to see those. Just in awe every single time I see a DMC run. I just can't believe the skill that those runners that y'all have with this kind of stuff. But as we say, One-and-Done-athon, goodbye forever. Igna, wipe that off. But of course, you can obviously feel free to submit to other GDQ stuff. It's just for One-and-Done-athon. I feel like I should make that clear. But yeah, definitely. But all right, we're going to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. I'm super excited for this run. See you in a bit.